Okay, I showed where I put this on. It's been a few minutes drying. We're going to take the block and see if we can't level it out. 220 first. We want to sand this all off, or sand it to where it's perfectly level. It's not bad. Yeah. Now you can go right to primer with 220, but all that does is leave a lot of highs. So this is all low. Everything you see here is all low. And we need to build that up until it sands out and looks like one piece. Okay, that was 220. Now we switch to 320. We'll get it ready to go. Everything that you see here is low. And the reason why an I-beam wing looks so good is because of its facets. That, and there's the tissue is not touching the wood anywhere, so anything that's tissue has a smooth surface. So it's all, the light all reflects off the smooths, the facets. And that's basically what we're doing here. We're leveling this out so the light will reflect evenly off this piece. Now it's getting better. It's not quite there yet. The next sand out will be with 320 and we'll hit it again. But if you look at it, the light reflects better off of it. There's a few high spots there that we're going to have to build up the lows to make the highs. But on the next go around, we're just going to sand with 320 instead of the 220, and because I don't want to knock these highs down too much. So we're going to let that dry, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Okay, I did another sand out on this, and depending on how much you want to be a perfectionist, if you look here in the corner, it's a little dull, and there's a spot over here, and it's a little dull right here. And there's a spot right there. You can tinker with this all day long and get it 100% perfect till it looks like a piece of metal. But for our purposes, I think one more sand out and one more shot of primer, and that will do it for me. And when you're doing these doors like this, so that the paint doesn't chip off, you want to make sure that every time that you do a sand out, you break the edge. You're not sanding the edge, you're just breaking the edge. Otherwise, the paint will chip off on the corners. And as I said, I'm thinking that one more sand out is going to do it. With a block, 320. That's not quite dry. That's alright, we'll go ahead. Just a light sanding. We're trying to build it up So we're not trying to, if you sand it all off, you're back to square one. This is a piece that will not get sanded back down to that translucent state because it's so low. If I did that, we'd be back to square one. But it's so small, and it's on the nose where most planes need nose weight anyway, and the amount of weight that this little piece will add is negligible. But you definitely want this little piece to look good. And it's easy to work with in your hand. And this is basically the same thing we'll go through with the wheel pants. Break the edge, break the edge, break the edge. We'll wipe it down here. I think one, maybe one more after that, and that'll be it. We can get on to the next segment. I'll turn it over to the bottom for the cowl. And as you see there, it pretty much looks like one piece. There's a little tiny low spot there, about the size of a head of a pin. I'm not going to worry about it. Hopefully it'll all fill when I get it cleared, and we'll do the sand out with the clear. So this is basically done. I'll hit it once more with sandpaper. We'll see how that is, and if it all looks flat, then that'll be the end of that on that part. If not, it'll be another go around with the primer. So that's that part. Now on the doors of this opening, I'm going to have to float primer in, and I'll take my popsicle stick with sandpaper on it and just hit those edges so that it's nice, like this. And in the words of Randy Powell, the paint job's never finished, it's only abandoned. So let's go ahead and hit that spot right there. We have a spot up around the wing, these areas that meet the wing and the stabilizer are always the most difficult. They take the most time. So we'll let that dry. And I don't know, I can't let this go, so I'll do one more sand out on this. We'll see how it looks. Light sanding. Looks pretty much sealed, or flattened out. This is the step that makes the paint job, not the painting. It's also the step that takes the time. Painting is nothing. good. I could probably do away with not priming this again, but I want to see what it's going to look like. So I will use the primer as a guide coat once more. Let's get that little spot out. You know, how much do you want to do? I have this airplane and 2 more to be done by Christmas. That looks real good. There's 1 or 2 spots that we're not going to worry about because it's up by the knob. I'm not going to worry about that little spot, but that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that light to reflect off of there in an even field. So, we'll be back in a bit. I got to go down and see the heater guy. Let's get this while I'm working on that. You can see this line where the fuselage side joined the top block. You want to sand that out. So it goes flat. We'll wipe it off. And hit it with primer. And that's gone. So it's basically, my painting method is tinkering in a certain spot, getting it right, and then moving to the next spot. And then once I get the whole airplane like this, I'm not going to do the wings like this, we're just going to dust it on and it is what it is. But once I get the fuselage like this, it all gets sanded back off down to that translucent state. And that gives you the lightest finish you can do using the primer method. So, we'll be back in a bit. I'm going to try to edit this movie up to make a lot of sense. There'll be a lot of footage here that may or may not be included. And the only reason being is I just don't feel that dry times and some of the things that I say are just, you know, pertinent or relevant to what we're doing. So I try to make the movies or the video as interesting as possible without putting you to sleep with inane commentary. So I don't have a cameraman or anything like that. I have to do all this by myself. So, Webmaster, 2 sites. CodeWriter, 2 sites. Sander of airplanes, painter, that's me. Video editor, 2 sites. Then I got to upload all that stuff. So, if you don't think it's a lot of work, what I want you to do is go ahead and try to do what I do and see how long you do it. I've got 168 videos uploaded. That averages about a little over 12 a month that I've done. And I'm going to try to up that this winter for Control Line Craftsman. Control Line Craftsman is a valid site. I just haven't uploaded to it in a while. Please sit tight, be patient. We're going to build that airplane as a build-along project. I'm waiting on a set of plans. If you guys want me to go ahead and show you how to design an airplane that will guaranteed 100% fly the pattern and fly it well, we'll go that route. I'll design it right on camera and you build it along with me. That I think would be more fun than building someone else's design. That way you can make it look like what you want it to look like and not what somebody else thinks that it should look like. It's very easy, it's very basic on the parameters needed for a control line airplane to fly. We just have to, you know, do the airfoils. I'll be more than happy to do a couple of airfoils for you, but I will show you how to make your own airfoil. You don't need any Profi program. You don't need any fancy computer or anything. You can use the side of your shoe to make the airfoil. It's so simple that it's ridiculous, and that way you can try and experiment with different things to see how they work. And that's the only way you're really going to get to know what it feels like when you do certain things on a control line model. All the computer math and all the formulas and spreadsheets and all that mean nothing when it comes to the feel in the handle. You have to change different things in the airplane and feel it in the handle, what it does. And once you get that feel, and you're looking for that feel that you want, you start changing little things on the airplane to enhance that feel that you want. Like myself, I like, and I remember in the old days, the airplanes would fly along and snap, turn, and go right on up. Now they're mushy through the corner. Well, I like that snap turn. Haven't been able to achieve it with some of the weights of the motors that we have. It's getting closer with electrics because you can manipulate the battery around and move the center mass back towards the center of gravity. But we don't have the wood that we had back in the 60s and 70s. So, I don't know. I just like trying different things. We can do that. We can wait on the plans. It's entirely up to you. But we need to get going something on that, so you guys need to make a decision. Please tell me down in the comment box, do you want to go ahead and build your own or design your own airplane, and I'll show you how to do it. We can do that. These airplanes I'm going to try to get all finished up by the end of the year. Well, by Christmas I have to have 5 finished because they're coming to get them. And I need to get them done as soon as possible so that I can get back to my duties on Control Line Craftsman. I just got a box in with a core in it. I'm going to be building an electric Thunderbolt, but I also thought about taking that Thunderbolt and turning it into a shoestring. So I might have a shoestring next season, a Stunt shoestring and a scale shoestring. It all depends on how I feel on that day. Because it means nothing what the airplane looks like. It's all about the different numbers. And I'll show you that as well. You can make anything. You can take any picture off the web. I showed you when I built my MC-72 how I took a picture off the web and enlarged it to the size that I wanted. The fuselage length. My MC-72 profile, the profile of that fuselage is 100% scale. Of course, the wing location is not, and the stab size is not, but that's not a big deal. It depends on what you want. I haven't really played much with that airplane because I had some electrical problems with it. I probably should play with it some more. I was going to sell it, but I'm sure it'll be a valid airplane. It's just a matter of playing with it, but I don't have the time. So I've talked long enough on this. We'll get this uploaded to show you where we are. This video here will be open to the public. The next segment in this series will be Control Line Craftsman only. So until I see you again, fair winds and tight lines.